Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tips from the Top. And tonight I am so super excited to introduce one of my sweetest friends, Megan Goff, Diamond Ambassador Megan Goff. And Megan is she's a Diamond Ambassador. She is a homeschooling mother of six. And her husband, Justin, is also an Emerald Ambassador. So they are a double jewel family, which is amazing. Living in, and I did not realize you lived in like a rural area of Chicago, because when I think of Chicago or Illinois, I think the city. I was like, are there really farms in Chicago? Um, but I met Megan a couple of years ago at the leaders retreat in Washington and just absolutely fell in love with her and her sweet, sweet husband. And I am so thankful for her friendship and so absolutely honored that she is going to be sharing with us tonight. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Megan.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Angie. I do have a funny story to tell. I just remembered this. So Angie totally poured into me the very first leaders retreat I ever went to, which would have been in 2015, and I was I think senior gold ambassador, and we were at Mount Vernon, and I saw she complimented me on my capris or something. I kind of remember this now. And so then that just sparked a conversation. I was like, and we knew we were both with Plexus, I think. And so I just totally drilled her with questions because she was an Emerald. And I was like, how did you do that? Like, whatever you are doing, I need to know about it. So she totally poured into me for, I don't know how long. We walked around forever. And she was just basically sharing the practical things that she was doing to build her team. And so I'm so thankful for her being so sweet to share with me that day. And it's a reminder to me and to all of us to take the time to connect with people, because that's what she did. She was connecting with me. And then that opened up a door of opportunity for her to encourage me. And so anyways, thank you, Angie, for doing that for me. It built my belief and really gave me some practical ways to grow my team. So I'm going to share my story with y'all, and then I'll share some training tips with you. So I am a mom of six. I homeschool them. They're ages 13 down to 2, and we have 5 boys. So it's a crazy wild life here at the Goff house. We're currently living in our farmhouse of about 1,700 square feet. And it's getting tight, guys. When you do life here 24/7, it's especially when in the winter time we start to feel a little bit like we're having cabin fever, but it's all good. We live on a farm in a little tiny town. We literally have no stoplights, less than 900 people. So guys and girls, if a small town homesteading farm girl can be successful in Plexus, I feel like anyone can be. And so I heard about Plexus about 5.5 years ago from Shoshana Easling at Bulk Herb Store. And I remember thinking 2 things. No way. Well, I remember thinking no way and 2 things about it. It looked like weight loss and it looked like an MLM. So I was just like, what is she doing? No, thank you. But I was kind of intrigued, like blood sugar balance, pink drink. Okay. But I didn't see my own need for that at the time because I was in a huge health crisis. We had discovered mold in our house, and I had gotten super sick. And so I was working with a naturopath. I basically went from doctor to doctor, and they told me everything from, oh, you're in menopause, and you're not even 30, but no more babies for you. And also another doctor said, well, you have anxiety, and it's just all in your head. And so I was like, I don't. I have something wrong in my body. I need to figure out why. I'm not going to cover it with a medication or do surgery or just put a Band-Aid over it because I really want to know why. If I have to go get surgery or use a medication, I will, but that's like my last-ditch resort. So I worked with this naturopath for about 1.5 years. She helped me overhaul my diet, so I am a big proponent that what you eat matters, right? Foods can either heal or hurt. And also that she worked with me on root issues. She helped me heal my gut, and she helped me add nutrients because I had severe leaky gut syndrome from the mold mycotoxins. And I'm sure having 6 babies really fast, well, it was 4 babies at the time, 4 babies really fast. And I grew up on a lot of antibiotics, and we didn't know to like replenish the gut. And I just didn't know a lot, right? So that kind of set me up for a crisis, a health crisis. My body was just in like this storm mode. When one thing gets off in your body, it can cause a whole snowball of effects, right? And so I started to see Plexus on Facebook around the time. I mean, I had healed up to a certain point over the period of those 18 months. I was feeling better. I had another baby. We actually have had 2 babies since since I was working with the naturopath. So she helped me heal up to a certain point. But I started seeing more Plexus on Facebook, and these people were educating about gut health, fungal overgrowth, and how that is linked to so many different diseases, and how these products were helping people. And so I was like, this is intriguing. It's talking about not just gut health, but also blood sugar regulation. And I was about a couple months postpartum, and my blood sugars were just like totally off the wall, wonky, low. And so when your blood sugars are out of whack, you don't feel good. I was overly emotional, and it didn't matter what I was eating. I feel like a high protein, low, high carb, whatever. It was not working. So I was like, well, I obviously have some sort of issue. And I like that Plexus not only addresses the gut, but it also addresses blood sugar balance and nutrient absorption, right? Because I was basically malnourished from the mold. And so I decided to give it a try. I was kind of cynical in my head, like, what's another $100? But I had this faint glimmer of hope, because I was like, Shoshana is successful with the business, and she would not back something that wasn't good. And I also saw some other people that I followed in health and wellness for lots of years giving their thumbs up with it. So I was like, well, it looks like good stuff. I think I'm going to give it a try. So there's this little glimmer of hope that this would work. I was reading testimonies and different things like that. And so I would say for me, the business was very organic. I didn't start for the business, but I am somewhat entrepreneurial, I think outside the box. And I was like curiously watching other people. And so I started the products, quit 2 weeks in because I thought it was taking my milk supply with my baby, but it wasn't. He was tongue and lip tied. So got back on the products. And during those rocking chair times when I was just nursing my baby around the clock, I really felt like I redeemed those hours by just plugging into YouTube videos about the Plexus products. And when you binge watch product videos, you end up watching some business building videos, right? So it was a real big blessing to me. And about 2 months in, I kind of dabbled my way to silver. But the 2 things I would say that happened for me that just like lit a fire under me, and I was like, okay, let's do this thing, is that I went silver. And then in my mindset was, okay, I got to silver, game on, how do I get to gold, right? And then the second thing was that I watched your Abart's Diamond documentary, and I was like, I want that. Like they have time freedom, and they've built a life. And at the time, like we were grateful, but like gratefully discontent, if there's such a thing. Like my husband had a good job, but he was working dark to dark, literally. He worked an hour or 2 away from home every day. He worked as a road construction supervisor and was excellent at what he did. We were not hurting for money, but we were hurting for his presence, right? I didn't want to be a single mom raising all these boys by myself. I wanted us to be together more than we were apart. And we both knew that something needed to change, because he had just like hit the lid in this company. Like there wasn't any other place for him to go, like up, right? Or to create more income. And so we were just praying. We had prayed for a long time. Never in a million years would I have thought that we would, that God would bring us something like network marketing. But I saw Jarrett's Diamond documentary as not as much money, but as much of like the opportunity part where you actually had choices, right? And where you could build a life. And so I would say we were thinking, there has to be more than just the grind, right? And so that's kind of the basis of my mindset and why we started. And then I ended up going emerald in 11 months, plateaued out for 14 months, and then went sapphire diamond in 2017. So my journey took me 2.5 years, but it's still going, right? It's still a journey. I'm still learning. My next goal is to help my people become jewels, the people that want to become jewels and rank up. And so that's kind of my mindset behind that, is I want them and all of you guys to experience everything that Plexus has to offer, because it is a gift. This business will gift and so in our first year, we were able to pay off our house, which was for us a huge goal. As a single income family, we had done the Dave Ramsey plan, and we're like, let's continue this gazelle intensity and this extra income we're earning. Let's just put it on the house. Let's just snowball it. So we paid off our house, and then we've also been able to travel as a family. And with 6 kids, it's not cheap, right? So we've been able to take them to Hawaii a couple times. We are able to pick up and go whenever we get a whim and we want to go learn, right? We homeschool, so we can pick up. It's just such a free way to live. And then my husband was able to just at the drop of a hat within 24 hours be on a plane with a friend to go deliver Bibles to the Maasai warrior tribe in Kenya, Africa. And so the ministry and just the missions opportunities to like fund God's work around the world is near and dear to us. And to be able to give like what we used to make in a year, I mean, to me, that's like, that's a huge, huge reason why we do this. And then the last thing I'll say really quick about how Plexus has gifted us is that our goal has always been to build a house. Like ever since we got married, we have just always known that we'd eventually build a house. But just last week, we were able to meet with a builder. We're closing on some land here close to, we live on family farm, right? So we have family close by, and we're getting ready to build that house, Lord willing, this year. So I'll just say Plexus has allowed us to dream again and to give us options. And in my opinion, there's no better time to go all in than in 2019, because really I feel like this business is better than it's ever been. Like when I started, I still feel like we were kind of in pioneer mode, where we were all just kind of like learning by doing. This is working. Oh, this doesn't work. Let's try something different, right? But now after Super Saturday, and we've been given those tools, guys, that's huge for our businesses. We have those amazing videos that corporate made. So in the system now, which is basically taking a lot of the question marks out of it, because I think maybe not you guys that are on the call. I mean, if you've signed up people and you've ranked to silver to gold or senior, you have a skill set and you have some competency, right? You have some self-initiative. But the system, what it's doing is it's taking that scary, the overwhelming scary part of what in the heck do I say out of it, because one, they've given us really great scripts that you can literally copy and paste. Like you can make them personalized, of course, but the bare bones thing is there. And like, I feel comfortable, like I could send those to people I know, right? And put my name on it. I would not be embarrassed to send that. And then literally we plug them when they message us back and say, sure, I'd be happy to watch your video, right? The system is send, share, invite, right? Y'all, we're on Super Saturday Live or in a live location or on the live stream. So the send, share, invite thing, we're basically sending out a little message. And then when they say, yes, I'd be game for watching the video, you send the video. You don't have to share your story, right? So resist the urge to talk too much and simply send the tool, because what that's doing is it's almost like a, I don't remember what it's called, like a sales philosophy or something like that, where basically they're talking themselves into why they need it. Because when they verbalize back to you what they tracked with from the video, then they're selling themselves on it, and you don't have to do any of that, right? You're basically plugging them into a resource. And those are awesome. Like I loved the one with Abby Kappa, the opportunity video. So if you're sharing the business, you don't have to go try to conjure up in your mind why they want the business. That video does it for you. Abby does it, right? Juliet Carty. And then the one about the girls, Shoshana and Brenda Martin, the one that Jarrett Abart made, amazing. That one's really like dripping with emotion. So your feeler friends that you want to share with, they would track with that, right? And so and the product video, I really liked all of them. So I feel like in terms of a simple system, like we have it. and the me plus three, them plus three, I would say, I'm just going to share, if you don't mind, a couple of the things that I shared on a Zoom with my Emerald team. They're coming off Super Saturday, hot, ready to rock and roll and ready to just off to the races. So I shared with them specifically about rank ups. So I'm just going to safely assume that you all would like to take it to the next level this year. Okay. So if you're on here thinking, well, I just want to get my products paid for, that's fabulous. That's great. I'm going to kind of be talking to the people that really want to go farther, or maybe you're stalled out in your business. You're like, what do I do? It goes back to the simple system of me plus three, them plus three. And I will say a couple things that I feel like I didn't do well in the beginning is I kind of just only focused on me, the me plus three, me plus seven, me plus 14, right? But that didn't leave me a whole lot of time to help them. When you're helping them with their three, it's going to take some investment from you to help them do that, right? Some coaching, some asking questions. And so that was huge. That's something I would do differently, in a sense, is that I would help more people rank up and get their three people. I'll also say, if you are helping people if you're helping your people get three people and you didn't approach them specifically about the business, maybe they're wholesalers, this is the system I use. I basically, when I'm on the phone signing them up, make sure they have the Smart Start, just like we learned at Super Saturday. So they're getting their welcome pack, their $1.99 welcome pack. They're setting up their subscription. And then you're asking them, hey, would you be game for sharing my story if I send it to you? And where I'm just trying to spread awareness about how these products are helping people. Would you be open for doing that? And then don't say anything. See what they say. Another thing that I say sometimes is I'll ask them, hey, would you be game for sharing? What are your thoughts about that? And I just let them share. And then sometimes they'll say, oh, I want to try it first, or whatever. I'll plant the seed in their mind, like, hey, that's totally fine. Would you be game for sharing my story? Okay. Or if they're like, oh, I want to try it first, I'll say, hey, no worries. You might think of some people that this could help, or who do you know that this could help? So where you almost turn it into referrals, or you just plant the seed, and then they're going to think about, oh, my aunt, my cousin, my sister, my BFF. And then you can also talk to them about, hey, I always, recommend people getting an accountability partner, because you'll be more successful. So can you think of even one person, like your mom, or maybe your husband, or your sister, that wants to do it with you? So it's that duplication mindset, that instead of, because what I did in the beginning was just like, I had the mindset that, well, one, I really approached people about the products more than the business. And so I wasn't really signing up people I knew wanted the business, right? I didn't really know what they wanted. But I had this assumption, like, the people are going to do it. And I assumed that everyone was going to be like me. They will start for the products, and once they catch the vision, then they're off to the races. And what I did was I missed out on a huge opportunity with a lot of wholesale people, because I never approached the question, right? People naturally, I have some go-getters that just naturally did what I did. So there is that aspect of, if you expect your team to rise up, you have to be the leader in that. So I call it plexus energy. The more people they see you welcome, the more people they're going to welcome. They're going to catch that excitement, catch that passion, catch that vision. And I will say that was the one thing that worked for me, even though I was like definitely not perfect in my approach when I started. I was literally learning by doing, okay? Is that worked for me. But I feel like in a way it was kind of inefficient of me, because I was recruiting all these people, but didn't have time to take care of them, really. And then from those people, there's some people that end up falling off the bandwagon, but then there were some people that just caught the vision, because they were like, well, I'm going to share like Megan shares, and I'm just going to tell people what I think about it. So that's just kind of part of my story. But if I could go back, I would talk to my people closest in my circle, because I did not do that. Christy Hull and I trained at Super Saturday in Alabama, and we were both saying, with the belief that we have now, we totally posted on Facebook first and did not contact mom, BFF, sisters, and people like that at the beginning. And so I feel like it almost makes you unapproachable later when you do find success, because they think, oh, well, that's your deal. Or, oh, well, So it, maybe they wouldn't have joined at the beginning because they're like, well, that's not going to pan out, right? But at least you give them the benefit of the doubt, like, hey, you should come do this with me, right? I think I lacked of some belief and boldness, especially with my close friendships. But now I feel like that they really view this as, well, you have the whole town signed up, so there's no room for us, right? That's their mindset. That's something I would do to in the beginning, to reach out to that close circle. Okay, let me check my notes really quick. Okay, so if this is what I had my team do, or my girls do on this particular call, is I challenged them before our call to do some homework, and that is to write down what rank they want to be. I challenged them to go to YouTube and find a video. So if they wanted to be gold, they had to go find a video and listen to that. And from that video, write a how-to. They're going to do it, right? How many people they need, how many points they need, and what their IPA, what their action plan was going to be, right? And it all goes back to the me plus 3, them plus 3. This is not complex, but if you can map out your goal, well, I shouldn't say can, you can. If you will map out your goal, it's going to be way more effective than if Angie gives you, oh, this is what you need to do. Or if your direct sponsor says, oh, this is all you need to do, right? We're going to rise up leaders. And so you guys duplicate this on your teams. You're going to rise up leaders by saying, empower them to go be self-starters. Empower them to go take the initiative to go listen to a video and write down what they need, right? So the first key is to set the goal and map it out, and then decide the date and commit to that. And if you have trouble knowing what date to pick, like say you're like, well, can I get there by convention, or do I need to make it like for next January? Okay, I put my first goal as gold for the year after I joined. I definitely did not anticipate my action, the amount of action and effort I was putting in helped me achieve that goal in, well, a couple of months, right? Because I had massive action to back that, okay? And I suggest getting to your goal quicker than later, right? Sooner than later, because it's going to take you less people and it's going to be more efficient. Just keep that momentum going, and you do the things and you help your people do the things. And then I would just challenge you guys, commit. Like, go all in, be a 10x committed person, okay? Because why do this if you're not going to commit? It's like lukewarm Christianity. It's like disgusting, right? God says either be hot or cold, right? He would rather us be that. And I feel like the same is for Plexus, is it doesn't have to be your life, but it needs to be in your realm of priorities in your life. It needs to be a priority. Otherwise, your rank won't happen. I can promise you that, right? And so commit. My husband is working with a life coach. And he's like, don't be hard on me. I mean, he said, be hard on me. I tend to wiggle out of things. I'm a procrastinator. He's like, all right, give me your goal. And so Justin gave him this goal. And he's like, all right, how committed are you? And Justin's like, I'm committed. And his coach said, okay, I want you to write out $1,000 check to this particular organization that he knows my husband really like staunchly disagrees with. And Justin's like, I'm not doing that. And he goes, you're not committed to your goal. If on this date you are not Sapphire, you send that check to that organization, and it will be on record for life that you donated $1,000 to that organization. And so it was like this aha moment for Justin that, well, I'm not really committed because I may or may not do what it takes to get there. So I have a couple points. If you want to rank, number one, it must become a priority. I see people all the time that say, oh, I want to rank up. This is my goal, whatever. But then like they don't show up to a Zoom training, or there's a power hour and they're never on them, or they just do things that show me that they're really not committed, right? They may decide to go train for a marathon, right? Or do something, or they take a second job. And I'm like, if this is your goal, like I know what it takes to get there. I mean, unless you plan to stay up all night, I don't know how you're doing that, girlfriend, right? So it must become a priority. I didn't say the priority because I really believe that you need to live in alignment to your values and to, you know, what God has called you to in other areas of your life. Plexus is not my whole life, but it is part of my life. And it's a priority to us, right? Number two, you must personally sponsor. And at the very bare minimum, if you plan to rank up, you need to at least add your 3. And then you need to help your people get 3. So, oh, that was number 2. Number 3 is you must help others get their 3. And one thing that's helped me help others get their 3 is to recognize them. So we have this little thing called Active Leader Achiever on our team page. So people that do that each month, even if they've already hit silver, if they're an Emerald Ambassador and they got their 3, they get Active Leader Achiever. If they're a Gold Ambassador, they ended up adding 6 level 1s, they get Active Leader Achiever times 2, right? Or double Active Leader Achiever. So like that recognition piece is huge for people. And so that's something I started doing, seeing Abby Kappa do that for her team. So recognize your people when they do great things. Send them a little note of encouragement. You don't have to buy a bunch of expensive gifts for people. Like a handwritten note goes a long way, guys. So it's really been the same system for 4 years that I've been in Plexus, but it's just fine-tuned. I feel like Super Saturday made it go back to the simple step, right? The simple steps. And it's just a mantra. We need to set it to music. Me plus 3, them plus 3. Send, share, invite. Me plus 3, them plus 3. Send, share, invite. And the system isn't going to fail. It's highly duplicatable. Like Jessica said, she said, she told me this somewhere along the line, I think told her team, but I was listening. She said, if you do this system and it doesn't work for you, I will buy you a pony, because it does work if you do it. Okay, so let me make sure I covered my notes. One thing I'll say really quick is that you are the creative and enthusiastic force for your team. So if you want to rank up, you're going to have to help your people. Yes, you might have some people that are self-starters and that just do it, and you literally don't have to handhold them, but you'll help more people be successful, and you'll help, you will create and spark multiplication instead of addition when you help your people do the things. And go listen to Emily Gibson's most recent video on helping people go silver, and that will give you a clear picture of like what she does to do that. I will say also that the key to ranking up is really based in mindset and belief. And picture your Plexus business as having a cloud over it. What kind of cloud do you want surrounding your business? Because what you speak and what you think is what surrounds your business. So if you're thinking negative thoughts, if head trash is plaguing you about how you can't do that, or you won't, or I will never be this or that, you're going to create your reality. I know that sounds a little bit out there, but I was speaking life over my business before it was a reality for me. It comes down to faith and belief. I remember declaring to Justin, hey, I'm going to be a diamond ambassador. If Shoshana can do it, I can do it. So that doesn't mean that every day was like amazing in my belief. We're still in process, but what you speak out and what you're listening to, I recorded myself on what was that? Like a video recording affirmations app. You can download one. Just record stuff. Things like, I'm attracting business builders to my team. Hey, how come so many people are messaging me to order? I am a Sapphire Ambassador. I specifically remember that one thing that I recorded. I was not a Sapphire Ambassador yet, but I was calling it out. I was speaking as though it was. And so I think it comes down to what you say is what you're going to create. What you're thinking, if your thinking is thinking, you need to change that. So what you're listening to, put a earbud in when you're working out. Put an earbud in when you're doing dishes or laundry. And be listening to uplifting podcasts or some Plexus Jewels training or something that's going to feed your mind, because your mind is, well, in my opinion, I think a large percentage of humans, if they're not diligent to really guard their heart and mind, that you're going to just naturally go to the negative. Okay, you're going to get in a funk, and we don't want to be in a funk. Action is what's going to create life change. And that's going to mean lives changed. And guys, this isn't about us. It's about like what you want to create for your family. You need to, if you haven't revamped your why in a while, you need to make sure that you revisit that and reset your goals, because that's going to dictate 2019 for you. And I want you guys all to be successful, whatever that means to you. It can be different for every single person. So Also, I will say 3 more things and we'll stop. But when you are planning your rank up, plan to rank up and maintain a growth mindset. Because if you're just planning to like get to gold and then you're done, I see it all the time. People get there and then they're like, all right, done, boom, I'm gold. It's like they just go after the title, but it's more than that. You're gonna end up like sliding backwards if you don't have the mindset of growth and helping more people. And by my mantra for the year is glorify God, add value to people. Glorify God, add value to people. Because when you do that, you're going to naturally attract people to you that need help, either with their financial health or their physical health. And when you live an interesting life and you're living a happy, fulfilled life, you can't help but grow your network and attract people to your business. So that's all I've got for y'all. I hope that was helpful. I need to go put my babies to bed.
That was amazing. Amazing, Megan. I have like 2 pages of notes here. So, I love your heart, and it's so evident to me to see why you were so successful, because you just have a passion for people and helping people. And I love everything that you shared. There was something that I wrote down. I was like, oh my gosh, like everything that you shared was so amazing. I have one question,
Mm-hmm.
because you are a homeschooling mom of 6. Everybody's at home, including your husband. And so, like, how do you, I know what that's like with just 2 kids and a husband. So I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you prioritize your day and like fit things into how do you do like your day to day? Do you have like a scheduled time where you're like, okay, leave mommy alone for 30 minutes or?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like figuring out what works best for you. Like I can say what I do. It's kind of like when you go in to have a baby. I can share what I did to get through that, but you're going to have to figure out how it works for your life. So, for example, I feel like our schedule is always changing, and like I may be up late to finish stuff and then I don't wake up as early. But for example, just to give you an idea for today, so I got home yesterday from Super Saturday flying. Took me about 12 hours to get home, but was finally home. And I just hung out with everyone last night and connected and didn't do much Plexus. But on the way home, I had messaged all my people on Marco Polo, level 1s that work the business, just to find out what they thought of Super Saturday, right? And then this morning, I got up at 6:30, around 6:30. Justin, he does a team prayer every Monday morning with our team. We put like a prayer post out on Sundays, and people can add their requests, like whatever request they have, and he prays with them. I got up and I made a commitment in December, I think, that I wasn't going to get up and check my phone. Like that was not a healthy practice for me. So I get up and pray, and my daughter climbed in bed with me. So we read First Peter out loud, and then I read a little bit of the Slight Edge book and the a lot of people communicate, few people connect. So I have I have a couple personal development books going at the same time. And then Justin had the kids up and was the older kids. He's doing like a Bible reading with them in the morning around 7. And then I got some breakfast stuff going. I got my kids. So our kids help in a big way. So like we rally the home team, right? And then I went and did my workout. It was a 20-minute video workout. It wasn't anything special, but I tried to listen to a podcast thing, but too much. So I was just concentrated on my exercise. Popped in the shower and got ready for the day. I do better when I'm not sweaty, stinky mama running around the house. So that's just stuff that helps me. And then my helper, we just hired a lady from our church that just came over from the Philippines, and she was needing work. Just because I was feeling stressed out by trying to do all the things. And we're in a place in our business where it makes sense for me to get some help. So she comes in at 8:30 and leaves at 1:30, but she helps me. And this was actually from Brenda Martin. She helps me. The tip was from Brenda Martin, just to delegate and to leverage. And I don't have to be all the things all the time, right? And I had help before Plexus, just because the lifestyle we lived, and it frees me up so much in my brain space of, I don't have to have like in my head, oh, I got to go scrub toilets, right? And so that lady comes in and she helps my kids prep and clean up breakfast, so that transition is more seamless. She helps take care of my little ones while I'm doing school. We start school at 9:30, and then we had a co-op class at noon at my mom's house just right across the road. But she stayed and prepped supper. Well, she made lunch, prepped supper, did cleanup. I put my little ones to bed. I read stories with them and put them to naps, and then I headed over to my mom's to meet up with my big kids at co-op. And then I came home and helped a couple kids practice piano. And supper was already prepped. So I actually was on a call. I'm not usually on a call during supper time, but the girls in Maine had this team meeting tonight, and they're like, can you be on just for a little bit? And so I popped on. I prepped a little bit for that, popped on. So that was kind of my day in a nutshell. I mean, I have a whole bunch of people that have messaged me on my messenger. So my messenger is full. My Marco Polo is full from all the people I haven't listened to yet. But, I'm just I'm doing the best I can every day, and I'm not perfect. I don't do personal IPA every day at this point in my business, but working up to Emerald, I didn't even do personal growth really. Justin told me I've done that for years by doing, reading my Bible and things like that, going to church. But I really feel like you learn personal growth and development by doing this business. But I also say it's important to feed your mind. So if you're really struggling with negativity or things, be listening to things. That's really helpful. I've made it a priority now because I know I need it for my leadership and just for positivity. And so that's kind of how I did my day today, but tomorrow's gonna be different. Oh, but in terms of going to Sapphire and Diamond, I ended up stalling out for 14 months and had to put myself back into full-on recruitment mode. And I started meeting with different teammates face-to-face, either to do a little power hour or a little team group coaching where we work together. And that got us out of the funk in conjunction with Brooke's 7-day challenges. So, I mean, it's going to look different for your team and what you guys need, but that's what's been helpful for me. And I've done short blitzes after I went Emerald to personally sponsor, because when I've done those short blitzes, it's like that recruit 20 and 30 days thing. There was only one time that I actually added 20 people. I mean, that sounds ridiculously insane. But for that short season, I knew I had to invest that time in order to get us where we needed to go, right? And the funny thing, I've done that 3 times. I've just made that my mindset. Not that I succeeded in adding that many that fast, but when I've done that, I've looked back the 3 times that I've done that. That's when business builders have joined me. And so if you feel stuck, I mean, I want to stick to the system of me plus 3, them plus 3, but just to share like my story of how I went, I feel fairly quickly to Diamond I put myself in full on recruitment mode. But now at the position I'm at in my business, I don't do personal IPA every day. There's times that I'll blitz and do it throughout the month. But my big goal right now is to help my people really be successful. So that's a little bit of my brain space on that. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. And I think it's all about that's what I love about this business. It's all about fitting it into the nooks and crannies. And I'm like, oh my goodness, if Megan Goff can do all the stuff during the day, like I really have no excuse, because I mean, you have a really busy life. But I love that it's whatever we do, it's all about fitting it into the nooks and crannies. And then let's see, she said, what is a blitz in your business?
So January 2017, Jessica Heffley said if we wanted to rank up that year, we needed to add 10 level 1s by March. And this is the book book study we're doing. It's like really hardcore, guys. So my husband picked it out, what is called the 10X rule. But basically successful people take what people tell them and they multiply it by 10. And I didn't know that it was even a philosophy or action, but that's what I did in my business. When Jessica said you need to do that, I said, well, I'm going to do 10 a month. That's just like the crazy person in me, I guess. And I put myself in full recruitment blitzy mode. And so for me, that looked like messaging as many people in the time that I had to do it. So like I did not work my business like 8 hours straight, but I would walk around with my IPA list of people. And when I was sitting down nursing a baby, I was messaging people. When I was, after my kids were in bed or during nap time, I was messaging people or following up with people or helping them get started. So it was very much recruitment based. I feel like now I'm a lot more conscious of helping people, you know, or add 3 or add 1. So I'm networking within my team more now. But that's kind of blitzy for me. And also I've worked this business by sacrificing sleep. I feel like people are always like, what's your secret? Like, how do you, well, one, my first year I was nursing a baby, or actually I had 2 babies working to Diamond. And so I wasn't getting a lot of sleep anyways. And so I was using those times when my baby was either nursing or I was having to be up anyways, working plexus. So I really feel like I give the main parts of my day to my family. So
I love that. I love that. I love that so much. Thank you so much for all the golden nuggets that you have shared with us. I am so incredibly thankful for you. Thank you for taking time away from your family to pour into all of us. I'm so thankful for your friendship. I'm so thankful that God has brought you to me through Plexus. And again, thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. And Christiana, I believe that book, is she asking about the book? So it was, I wrote down the book that she talked about. It's
The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone.
By Grant. I need to write that down.
My battery is literally at 3%.
No, you're good. Thank you so much, because I know you have to get your babies to bed. But thank you so much, Megan. I appreciate you so much.
All right.
I hope you have a good night.
Okay. Good night, guys.
Bye. Thank you.